Hello everybody, today I'm back with another Chibitronics collaboration. This time the collaboration is going to be with Sweet Stamp Shop. I have chosen this beautiful space stamp set, and I have chosen some planets and a rocket to stamp. I stamped this with my Misty and I used Memento Tuxedo black ink on Nina white paper, and now I'm going to color them with my Copic markers. All my colors I'm going to use are listed down below from lightest to darkest. So in case you are interested in the color combinations I'm using, you can find them. I'm just doing here a really quick coloring without any great thinking and shading. I'm just focusing on my LED card because this is going to be the most interest part, and I think on this cards or cards like this the coloring doesn't need to be perfect because the recipient is going to watch on the LEDs and not on how you did the coloring. So this is truly a basic coloring. I went from darkest to lightest because I wanted to save some time, but it always depends on the images I'm using. Sometimes I blend from lightest to darkest and I blend back from darkest to lightest, and sometimes just from darkest to lightest. Now I want to create my space galaxy background, and I'm using here some regular distress inks and I'm blending them on Nina white paper also. I didn't really care about blending because I would put some white splatters on top and nobody would ever see how great the galaxy is blended or not, and I think it doesn't need to be perfect because it's a galaxy, so it's totally okay. Now you have seen how I want my pull tab to be, and I'm cutting down a part, my strip where the pull tab will be using a craft knife, and I'm drawing in now my planets, and this time I want my planets to shine. I'm just using here some circle dies to cut out where the planets will be because I want the whole planet to shine and not only one point. And now I'm going to die cut the same thing on fun foam. This fun foam is double layered because of the thickness of the battery. I wasn't able to use just one layer. Now I'm taping my panel on my fun foam, and I used here my tape runner, and now I'm tracing in everything on my back panel so I can trace in my LEDs. Now I have chosen a white gel pen just for you so you can see better where I want to place my circuit. I'm connecting now my circuit because I wanted to avoid some errors. This card is quite difficult. I think this is nothing for beginners, but it's totally okay. I just wanted to play a bit here, and I thought it would be really fun. But it was a little bit difficult also for me. So now I'm just creating my circuit as I would normally do. I'm bending forward and backward the copper tape using here a bone folder. This is really easy with a bone folder, and the copper tape is pressed really good to the paper, which is very important so the connection would stay. Now I'm using a big part of copper tape. This is one I had in my stash and I didn't want to waste all my thin copper tape. It's the only reason I'm using this. You could totally use your smaller copper tape and tape one on top of another. This would be totally fine. And now I want to cut the connection in the middle. because I want my pull tab to be the switch. So only when you pull the rocket, the circuit would connect and then the LED would light. I think you will see it later. But now we have to disconnect and I'm cutting apart. Now you can see, but first I would suggest you to tape your LEDs before so you can check if your circuit is working. I forgot it and I was wondering why my LEDs weren't shining. You'll see it right in a minute. Now I'm just taping 3 more layers, one on top of another. I don't know why I did this. In my mind it makes sense, but you really don't need to make this. So it's totally fine if you skip the step. Now I'm taping my LEDs down, and normally I would tell you to check everything. I didn't do. But now I want to check, and I was wondering why LEDs weren't shining. It's sure the connection wasn't there, so now I just put a piece of copper tape on top and I saw everything was fine. Now we have to create a little, I would call it a star shape. It's about 1 centimeter. You bend it forward, backward, now you can see it, how it is. And I put a piece of copper tape on top. And I'm pressing it really good with my bone folder to the paper. And I'm using a tape runner, or you can use whatever you want. And I'm creating this little plus shape, star shape. And this will create a piece to connect the circuit later. You can see it right in a minute. If I press it really good, yeah, you put it in the slip, and when it presses good to the paper, the connection stays and the lights are going to shine. So in theory, everything is clear, I think. As always, it's the practical part which makes some troubles, and but this is totally okay. Now you just have to tape the front panel on the back panel, and now the circuit is all done. Everything is working, everything is fine. Now the card just have to be finished. Just checking if everything is fine. And I'm using here 3 layers of foam tape to tape my rocket on my pull tab. But first I want the recipient to know what they have to do with the card, or what he or she has to do with the card. And I'm stamping a sentiment "Pull Me" on some acetate, and this is also going to be the pull tab where the recipient can pull. So I'm taping it down, and now there will be taped the rocket in a minute. And now the mechanism is probably finished. Just checking everything is still working. And now I have to glue down my planets. I have used a circle die which is just a tiny little bit smaller than my planets because I want them all to shine, so it was a little bit tricky to glue them down, but if you use a multi-medium and something squeezed out, it's totally fine. I think nobody will ever see it, and there's so much going on this card, so it's, in my opinion, it's totally fine. And now I just wanted to put some glossy accent on top of my rocket, but I wouldn't suggest this because the rocket worked a little bit and I didn't like this look, so I would prefer without glossy accent. I used my Spectrum Noir clear overlay to give the planet some shine, and now I'm taping my front panel on my card base, but I totally forgot to put down my little strip from the front panel from the Galaxy on the background so you can see the black back, but it was totally okay for me because I spent so much time on this card and I didn't want to risk to tear my card. So I kept it like this. Now you can see the mechanism is working, and I hope you enjoyed my tutorial for today. Here you can see some more cards I made for Chibitronics collaboration, and in case you want to follow my channel, you can just push my photo. I wish you all a great day and I hope to see you soon. Bye!